hey guys, I have to say, my driving impression, and I mean, I know I sell Peterbilt, so take it with a grain of salt. I put my seat all the way back, and I don't know if you can see the angle of my oh hey, the window's open. So if you can see the angle of my shin, it's on an angle out. So as far as driver comfort, like a Peterbilt 389 extended cab is absolutely fantastic. It's super comfortable, and you know, a customer is asking me today about how tough these trucks are, and they're absolutely phenomenal. Because one thing about a Peterbilt, both of these panels, well, and actually all of them, they're made out of aluminum and they're screwed to the dash. So much like the old school days where, you know, you'd have the aluminum panels, in the 3 Series truck, there's still aluminum panels. In some other brands, they've actually gone away from that and they're plastic panels. And the problem you'll have is you've got, you know, your gauges in a plastic panel and then the tabs break off. So, you know what? You don't get that in a Peterbilt. And the dashes never break, like super tough. Absolutely fantastic. This one, actually, it's got the leather wrapped steering wheel too. And I gotta say, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I really do, but super comfortable. You know, the new dash, the one thing that's going to change when it comes out is your engine retarder is going to be here, which I actually don't mind. You know, I've always liked having the hand valve here for coming out of the bush, but nowadays for using your engine brake, I think that's fantastic. And I'm just going to change lanes here, because we're just headed into town. But yeah, so having your engine retarder here is actually a game changer in my opinion. Because right now we've got it here, which is fine, except for the fact that to reach over here to put your Jake down is a lot harder than merely grabbing it here. So here, I find I use my engine brake a lot more. So I'm gonna roll the window down so you can hear me shift some gears. Tear my seat down a little bit so I can tear my seat down a little bit so I can see the green light when it goes green. This thing doesn't have a monster visor on it. It's only about a 12-inch drop. Just a nice, clean looking visor. It's still DOT approved in BC. It's legal. We've measured it to make sure. But it looks really good. And you know, oh, what a comfortable truck to drive. I really do enjoy this. I turn the radio on except for the fact that, you know, copyright, don't want to do that, because heaven forbid somebody doesn't get paid for their song, but yeah, you gotta love it. Old school dash. Quite curious to see what the new digital dash is like, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm actually kind of excited for it. Question: do you guys double clutch, or do you shift without the clutch? You know, and I've had some guys say you don't need to roll the window up. That with an 18 speed, you don't need to split shift when you're empty. Personally, I don't necessarily know that you have to split every gear, but certainly progressive shifting. And anybody that knows what progressive shifting is about, I mean, basically it's where your RPMs progressively get higher to meet your next RPM. So really you don't even need to use the clutch at all if you've got your RPMs matched. And ultimately, you know, that's what I try and do. I don't know, I'm kind of bad because quite often I don't use the clutch. I don't know if I'd call it lazy or just, you know, I learned that way. And if you've got a good truck, you don't really need to. See, like there, I was taking splitting gears. Here I'll take a full gear as well. And you know, like that was a seamless shift. My foot hasn't come up off the floor. Split that gear. You know, so in the lower gears, definitely taking full gears is a better way to go. You know, downshifting, take full gears, but like with this is a 565 2050 torque X15, and it's got 600 brake horsepower. So with the Jaycon 3, and even though my tare-weighted tri-quad like this isn't, you know, it's not like it's a super skinny one, but yeah, with 600 brake horsepower, it still slows you down right away. So I'm sure I'll get some people telling me that I should be using the clutch and double clutching, but personally, I find if I double clutch, I feel more like a klutz trying to get my leg to work with my thumb or my hand. So, interestingly enough, I find staying in the fast lane is usually the quickest way through town, because you've got everybody in the slow lane merging off. Although right now I got a slow person in the fast lane, which is really annoying. Because it's like the people behind me are probably going, "Oh, that darn truck's in the fast lane." Well, the truck's not the slow one. It's the guy in that little white car that's the slow one. But it's getting kind of hot in here now. Turn the heat down. But yeah, interesting about driving and shifting gears. It's one of those things where, I don't know, to me it just comes natural. Maybe it's because it was, you know, born into it, but really a person should be double clutching. But when you do use your clutch, make sure you don't rest your foot on the clutch, because you don't want to rest your foot on the clutch, because then you're going to wear out your throwout bearing. I know a lot of people that have done that, and you know, it's just one of the side effects from, you know, resting your foot there. But not a good habit to get into. Grab a full gear downshift. Bit of brake, and see, now if I had the Jake on the column, I'd probably switch it down to the lower position, but you know, I tend not to when it's on the dash. I tend to put it on 3 and leave it there. So I also like to start out in third when I'm empty. You know, in a situation like this, you know, third over, not a big deal. Watch this guy who just blows through a friggin' red light. So now I'll start to split. And you know, that's one thing about it. You know, when you get a good truck, there's something about a good truck that just, you know, it's a good truck. Like, this one is a good one. I don't know what it is, but it just shifts really good. Sometimes you can get a truck and it doesn't shift that good, and I really don't know why. You can have two trucks that are, you know, seem to be the same, but drive totally different. But, you know, maybe it's this cab, maybe it's just I'm enjoying being in the behind the wheel again of a big rig. And I have to say, I really hate the word big rig, because it's a truck. Not to diss all the people that call a truck a rig. It's just one of those things, you know, growing up around trucking my whole life, I never really cared for the term rig. But anyways, it's just me. Now our roads are really rough, so like this is a concrete bridge, and it's got a little bit of bounce to it with all the potholes. This truck also has the traditional moto mirrors, so I just turned the passenger side mirror out so I can see better. And you know what, with our badly rutted roads, this thing handles it really well. Really well. Downshifting for a light. I'm gonna put it on 3 position. Just a little bit of brake. I'm going to step on the clutch to disengage my Jake brake. I'm going to drop it down into 4th because my light's changing now. Just rolling up behind the car in front of me, and then now we'll lay back into it. And I'll start split shifting again. So yeah, that's how I drive. I don't know that it's right or wrong. I managed to make it. I'm a gear jammer. I do like the new Endurance transmission though. You know, especially if you're in the city and you're shifting all the time. And maybe even it isn't the shifting part, but you know, stepping on the clutch. That's probably more so it than shifting gears. Because you got your foot on the clutch and your foot starts to get sore, or your leg muscles start to peter out. I'm gonna go weigh this truck. This truck was actually purchased by Sands Bulk Trucking, or Sands Trucking. Oh Jesus! Holy fuck! This boat got run into. Like, literally, when I looked in my mirror, that Freightliner's bumper passed me by like this much. I think I just about pooped my pants. I don't know what the hell that guy was doing, but gosh. Anyways, guys, I was just gonna weigh this truck. But, gosh. I wish I had a camera to show you how close that was. It's just brutal. Wow. We have had trucks run into mooses before. And I know they're not mooses, they're moose, but customer picked up his truck and he took it to Edmonton to get an APU installed. And he was bringing it back, and he was literally like 15 minutes out of town, and a moose runs out in front of him, and he tagged him. Brand new long hood 389 big shack, just a gorgeous truck. Frickin' just pasted it. Very disappointing. So thankfully it was my customer driving it, not me, but being that it was on a dealer plate, it went under our insurance. We paid the deductible, which was a little bit disappointing. But you know what? I was just glad we did our due diligence. I had my customer fill out the declaration for driving it, which, you know, sometimes guys get lazy and they don't do that, which, you know, that was a perfect example of why you need to do that. So you might let guys go test drive a truck 1,000 times and nothing happens, but all you need is that one time. So absolutely love this truck. Big wheels keep on turning. Gotta watch out for these chip trucks flying through here. There's another one coming up behind me. It's the worst thing about this time of year is it's so dirty. The dust, ugh. We need some really good rainstorms to wash the dust away. But you know what? This is what makes a guy really, really enjoy trucking. You know, the truck shifts fantastic. It rides great. It's so comfortable. You know, it just makes me want to go get a load of logs and, you know, turn up the tunes, and yeah, you don't have to deal with any people. You know, you just go get your load of logs, and when you're done, you're done. You know, you're not dealing with people all the time. And I think that is, you know, something that's seriously underrated when it comes to trucking. How nice is it to not have to deal with people all the time? Now, I'm not gonna, you know, say that I don't enjoy dealing with people, you know, because I deal with people all day long. But look at how tight this truck turns. So keep in mind, this truck is 294-inch wheelbase, and I couldn't make my full turn with it being sharp like that. So that wasn't really great. I couldn't keep the wheel locked because it was turning too sharp. So anyways, I'm just going to nose it up here. I'm going to go ask the shop if they can take a look at a couple of things. And then it's off to detail to get the sucker cleaned up for Cole. Cole, thanks for choosing Peterbilt. Sans Bulk, thanks for choosing Peterbilt, and you won't be disappointed. And you built a beautiful truck. Thanks for letting us build your new Peterbilt 367. Cheers, guys.